Hmm. All right. So today I'm actually a bit late and I'm trying to record in this uh, landscape orientation. So it's slightly more awkward and also mic. Let's see how this works. If it's better this way. So so I'm keeping track of my time on a timer here on my iPad. So this is, let's see, 4:51 a.m. 20 23rd Thursday 2023. So today I want to talk a little about waking up early. It's been almost 2 years now. Not exactly two, it's almost two. I actually haven't counted it properly. It's probably almost two, more than 1.5 years though. So I started waking up early. I actually watched. No, before that, I think I actually heard about the waking up thing from I believe it was a Joe Rogan podcast. So in a Joe Rogan podcast, I heard. So I heard about Jocko, who's so he would post pictures of his watch. He would post pictures of his watch every time he wake up, or very early in the morning. So I guess right after he wakes up, he does that every day. So and he's been doing it for years, and that actually inspired me. And right around the time I watched Andrew Huberman's podcast on like waking up early, how important sleep is. So I've been neglecting my sleep my whole life. I wasn't bad at it, it's just I didn't see it as something important. So I had, growing up, we had the same philosophy of like the same idea, we were like put into like about waking up early. That was there, our parents, our teachers, like wake up early, go to bed. That was in the rhymes as well, nursery rhymes and stuff like that. But like the more important part was the waking up early. And it wasn't about putting specific times, like just wake up early, earliest you can, the earlier the better, and stuff like that. But there wasn't like actual why you should do that, how you should do that, and how consistent you should be, when to go to bed, and like how much sleep is required, how much sleep is good for you, for physical recovery, for mental recovery, and stuff like that. So like it was honestly just wake up early. Waking up early is good. Who wakes up, the one who wakes up early is great and all that. So there wasn't any good information, so we didn't have motivation. Obviously we would be forced to wake up by our parents, by our teachers, stuff like that. So but thanks to that, I sort of had a decent wake up schedule. But once I got to college, with my parents were rather strict with us. It was good, honestly, now that I think back. But so when I got to college and I started living independently by myself outside, So I messed up my sleep. I with with friends and all. I was living with my friends, so we would pull all-nighters, sleep very late, really late, like 2 p.m. Back home, we used to sleep at least around 10, latest by 11 or somewhere like that. But like after I went to college, we started sleeping very late, and so after that, I stayed outside home for 7 years total. So during my college and everything. So, and that 7 years fucked me up, like sleep wise. And then once I got back here after my graduation and everything, it was bad, honestly. Like I could barely fall asleep till 11, 12. It was, unfortunately for me, I never had issues falling asleep. It's just, I just got so used to consuming entertainment, YouTube, stuff like that. So reading, my guilty pleasure novels, stuff, light novels. I got into it through anime and stuff like that. So lots of music, listening to music, watching concerts on YouTube, watching reactions, watching different stuff. Basically anything, podcast, even stuff like that, comedy. Bill Burr, I'm a huge fan of him. By the way, he's my favorite comedian. So, things like that. So I got too addicted to YouTube as well around the time. So yeah, it was hard for me to go to bed. Even now it's hard, but so what happened around the time, back to back to the topic. So Jocko, I saw that from Andrew Huberman about sleeping sleeping at least, giving your body at least 8 hours of sleep. So you'll probably sleep around 7.5 or sometimes 7, sometimes complete 8. So at least give yourself 8 hours of sleep and wake up on time around the same time. So I got that same message from Jordan Peterson as well, who, by the way, was the first spark in me turning my life around and getting all the shit together. So the first thing I did when I started changing myself, like really starting to work on myself to make a better life for myself, I started with waking up. So I always started waking up around 3. Around 3. No, actually, it was my own time. So basically, what I did was, I heard, I heard a lot about sleep, about waking up and all that. So I heard about kind of a challenge. Like if you're really serious about it, you challenge yourself. So I set up a challenge with my family and with my friends. So I started first with my family. So I'll wake up every morning. We have like a WhatsApp group. So I wake up every morning. I take a picture of my watch and put it there. So it was like a more of a verbal commitment, and my family like didn't exactly care if I stick to it or not. They were not gonna rub it in my face or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of my own pride on stake. So there's something like that. So I put it there, and I started doing it. About a month into it, I started to gain a bit of confidence. So I put up an official challenge with my friends, which was gonna bite me if I fail in that. So I set up a challenge with my friends and told them, like, if I do this upload thing, take a picture and upload thing, any later than 5:30, I will basically I will pay them $300, right, to each. So it was five of my friends. So it was like 300. Yeah. So it was it was enough money to like let me miss a few snack times. So yeah, it was. So that's what I started doing. So I set up the challenge, and thanks to that challenge, I started waking up early, like before 5:30 at least. Most times, initially, I just woke up, took the picture, and went to bed, right? So, that's probably the obvious thing most people do when they start doing that. So I did that as well, but like over time, in like I think by the second and third month, I started, since I'm waking up anyways, so might as well do so. Plus, by that time, my body started adjusting to it, and by the time I woke up, I just woke up and I couldn't go to bed. It didn't feel right, naturally as well. So I started setting up schedules in the morning, study schedules, and slowly, in a few months, like by the third month and beyond, I started setting up like going out schedule. So like wake up and go out even for a bit, for just a walk and stuff like that. And then eventually I got into running. So like my 5:30 wake up schedule got set. Okay, it's already over 10, but I'll just finish this out, I guess, today. So my schedule got set around 5:30, and then over time I gradually increased it to 5, to 4:30, to 4, to 3:30, 3, even till 2:30. 2:30 was my highest, which was I did. So, but what the issue with the too early about 2:30 was that actually around almost a year into it, again I started watching a lot more. I started optimizing my schedules, so the evening time started to matter a lot, because early morning, even if I get up early, I was kind of wasting time because I just got up. Most times I couldn't do what my schedules I was supposed to do on my timetable and stuff, because I was tired, because I didn't feel right and stuff. I didn't get my run on time as well, so I had to move around my times a lot. People who know me well, and my parents, if they noticed it, I don't know if they even noticed it, but like people who are close to me, even my friends who visit me, like, often, so they know like how I moved around a lot of things. In just the arrangement of my room, my bed, how I set up my bed, everything, I have moved around a lot in the last year. So I was listening to all this podcast, absorbing all this information, and at least putting 20 to 30% of it into practical use in my daily life. So I was moving around a lot, rescheduling my time from like 2:30 to 4:30 to 4, 3:30, like that. So I'm still in that process, by the way. So, but now I have set up some golden rules, right? After all, messing around with my time schedules, with my routines, with my exercise and all, by this time I have set up a proper schedule for exercise, a morning session for cardio, for my running, which is kind of my main priority. I love running. Plus I do want to get good at it. I haven't set up like a fancy goal of breaking a world record in like the 10K, which is a universe away right now, but we'll get there someday. So it's kind of like a dream thing. So I want to keep it like a very far-reaching goal. So there's that. And then in the evening, there was the push-ups and pull-ups. So like the body weight exercises, stuff, something of strength for the upper body mostly, because lower body I was doing a lot of running anyways, stretching and everything. So for upper body, I wanted to focus on the basics, push-up, pull-ups and stuff. So I'll go for deeper into my exercise schedules some other time, because if I go there, it will be very long. So basically morning, cardio, running, some things like that, walking, and evening would be like, something for strength and stuff. So that schedule was set. I wasn't the most consistent, but 5 out of 7 days I did it. So once my exercise schedule was set, my waking up time was set, I started to optimize with going to bed early. I tried to do at 8:30, 9 p.m. And eventually I realized I should be at bed by 7:30 anyhow, right? So most days, practically speaking, I would usually manage to be in bed by 8. But once I set the target at 7:30, it made it easier to be in bed by 8. So my actual goal was 7:30 actually in bed, but most days I could not do that, but at least by 8 I was. So if I go to bed, if I'm in bed by 8, then 4 a.m., 8 to 4 a.m. is exactly 8 hours. So that's how I set up my time. So now after all that fine tuning, the evening time, I had to negotiate with my family as well for, when I eat and stuff like that, because I had to eat independently. Since I can match time with them, I can't really force them to, go with my crazy schedule, which is, I don't think it's crazy now. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. The sleep thing, it's amazing. I would recommend everyone who wants to change your life to start with your sleep, because that's absolutely the most crucial thing. I've realized it now. And if you listen to experts and people like Andrew Huberman, Jordan Peterson, and like real, like if you just go to, suppose you don't want to go through the others, but at least the actual like sleep experts and neuroscientists and people like that who really have dedicated their lifetime into exercise and physiology and stuff, you will hear every one of them say the same thing: sleep. The most important, crucial thing is sleep. So yeah, so my sleep, now that it's set up, so I like the 8 to 4, that's kind of my ballpark. Preferably 7:30 to 3:30 is my goal right now, but most days it's like 8 to 4, 4:30. So I wake up around 3:30 to 5. So within that 1.5 hour, I'll wake up usually every day. So my obviously my preferred time is the earlier, 3:30, and even maybe 3 if I can manage to go to bed by 7, which is hard, as we see basically our family, we have like every night, every evening we gather around for like a fellowship. We have that. So like, if I haven't told you already, like my family is we are very strictly Christian. So we have been doing this for my whole life. So I'm 30 now, and we have been doing this for 30 years. The farthest I can remember, we have always had this like fellowship thing. And honestly, like even though faith-wise and stuff, I'll probably talk about some other day, but like I am not as much into the rituals and stuff like that. But because the more you learn about religion and things like that, the more you realize there are so many loopholes in there. So many, like the not exactly the bright side. Once you see the dark side behind all these religion systems, institutions, you start to question a lot. So I do question a lot, because the more I learn, the more I do. But this routine, the evening, like half an hour to an hour of like our family getting together, is amazing. Like the more I study about psychology, the more I study about having a family time and everything, I start to realize the better it is. So this is something I don't want to sacrifice my whole life. If I have a family, I'll probably do this too, So having something like a religion is also a good thing. It gives you peace of mind. On top of that, the more important thing I feel like with this routine is that it sets up an anchor for your time management. When your family get together, it's like absolutely compulsory, non-negotiable family time. It's like it hits 2-3 targets at one go. So I didn't want to sacrifice it. So I set up a time. So for this time especially, since we all had to gather together, and my parents, they with different other things, it's hard to like get them on time, because they are not used to the time management and stuff like that. They don't understand the importance of it. They understand it on a very general level, that yeah, you need to value your time and stuff, but like on a practical level, when to set up time, when to set up schedules, sleep schedule, wake up schedule, all that stuff, no, they aren't into it. Honestly, none of the people around me are into it, like, because they haven't, they haven't had that information, access to information like I do in my generation. And even in my generation, none of my other, very few, probably just one friend who is somewhat into podcasts and stuff. He was kind of the one introduced me as well. But like the others, nah, they aren't into it. Like, at least they don't know how to, like, they don't understand the practical importance of it, like really putting into action and implementing and fine tuning all that stuff. I haven't met too many people anyways in my life, but the few people I've met, I don't think I've seen anyone fine tune it, get to the level of fine tuning it. So yeah, so back to it. So my parents, they, it's, so basically I had to negotiate with my family for my evening fellowship time. And once I set them, so it's like 6 to 7, that's how we get there. So it's hard for me to just finish it and come quickly and get to bed. I have to brush my teeth, freshen up. I always have a habit of showering before I go to bed. It cools me down and get rid of my thoughts, wandering thoughts and stuff. So it takes me at least half an hour to prep for bed. So even if I do half the prep, like fixing my bed, dusting the sheets and stuff before like the bedtime earlier, but I still need for the shower time, which I can do in advance because it defeats the purpose of it. So I need half an hour to prep for bed. So that's why 7:30 is my current time. 7:30, go to bed and wake up by 3:30 is the ideal. But what usually happens is 8 and 4 a.m. So right now I'm trying to set that up. So I guess I should end it. It's already double the time. We'll probably talk in detail in the coming days. But yeah, to anyone who's trying to, get their life together, pick up the pieces, the first suggestion I'll give is set up your wake up time. It's amazingly important. And then once you set up a non-negotiable wake up time, at least set a limit for yourself in the morning. You don't need to do exactly, but set up a limit, like how my limit is 5:30. I won't be later than 5:30 ever, my whole life. This is a lifetime challenge I put myself to. So every time I miss it, obviously I'll pay for it, real money. So 5:30, it's a lifetime thing. Maybe eventually I'll even increase to 5 and stuff, but for now I'm not confident because sometimes I do get late. So, but like 5:30 is something I told all my friends know it, all the close people around me know it. So it's a social contract. It's binded in money. It's deal done, and my ego is on stake, my pride is on stake. I do it, or even, by the way, I do it on an Instagram profile as well, which is kind of an anonymous account I set up for updating with all the schedules I'm doing. So something like Jocko, basically I'm following in the footsteps of Jocko. I've been doing it for I think close to a year now. No, not maybe a year, but 6 months maybe. I need to check. So every morning I wake up, I take a picture of my watch and put it on Instagram first, and then I'll do it around 4:30 to 5, around the time, for my family and friends, because I don't want to do it too early for my, for the friends and stuff, because I don't want to rub it in their face, honestly. Like during my self-discovery journey, I have experienced a lot, and I realized that you need to like take it easy. And the thing they say about, like, when you start to change your life, the people around you might not have the best reaction for whatever reason. Could be their insecurity, could be something else. I don't judge, I have had to deal with my demons as well. So, but yeah, so that's why I have experienced a lot. I get the vibe. I'm sensitive to vibe around people, and yeah, let's just say I did go through some experiences, and I realized that, you know, even if you are trying to change your life and you're doing very well, changing it, just don't impose yourself on others too much. As least as you can. And that's why, yeah, that's why I'm not, you know, I'm slowly, like from 5:30 that picture thing, from around 5 to 5:30 to now 4:30 to 5. Probably I'll increase it over time, but for now I'm doing it that way. So yeah, so so that's how it is. So even my mom is calling. So we have like she goes to yoga class, I go to running stuff early morning from 5:30 to 7:30. So I'll be going there. Today it's my rocking day. So yeah. All right, man. That's it. I spoke a bit too long. It's almost half an hour, but this felt important, so I had to like get this out. So we'll go in details in the following days. But for today, prioritize sleep. The most important thing you can do. By the way, I have a hard time focusing on the camera. This is awkward. The portrait was easier, honestly. All right.